What is up, everybody? I am Centurion1307, and thank you for checking out my video today. And we're just going to dive right in today's discussion that kind of revolves around the drama that seems to take place almost every single day on Twitter. And I mean, it really makes for a good popcorn show, in my opinion. But to really help me break it down, I've brought in community favorite social media analyst FanBoy. Please, sir, tell us a little bit about yourself and background before we get started.
Hey kids, it's time for some more real fun. No, really, it's time for seriousness. Well, Sin, I'm a fluent social media gaming fanboy who likes long walks on the beach, puppies, and having logical debates on how I would run gaming. And I'm a black belt in Taekwondo fanboy.
Well, okay, my friend, thank you for that interesting introduction. Let's just dive into today's discussion about how supposedly consumers that use Xbox as their main console of choice don't buy games, according to sources on Twitter. And to really compound the situation even further, a few media outlets are running with this narrative as well. If we move over to our first article, right here, gamesindustry.biz, which is written by a predominant member of the Twitter community. We see him all the time giving his takes on stuff. He's wanting to highlight that Hogwarts Legacy is the biggest Harry Potter game launch of all time, which is absolute truth. I mean, the game is absolute fun. I'm hearing people rave about it on numerous podcasts, and other media outlets are raving about it as well. I can't put it down. I mean, it's really been a home run for WB. But one other thing they're trying to spin into this is 82% of Hogwarts Legacy sales were on PS5, with the remaining 18% on Xbox Series S and X. Digital sales will likely reduce that gap between the two platforms, as Xbox digital share tends to be higher than physical, in part due to the popularity of the digital-only Xbox Series S. And then we also see Yahoo is outlining Game Revolution's article, and they pretty much read the same, so we'll just go straight to the source, with Game Revolution touting that the UK's physical console games chart places it at number 1, with the vast majority of sales happening on the PS5. 82% of the sales were made on PS5, with just 18% on Xbox Series XS. We see that again. But of course, we're down here a few sentences in, kind of like bottomed out at the bottom of the paragraph. Of course, haven't got data for digital sales yet, which could balance the scales towards Xbox Series XS. Fanboy, what do you really feel about that? I mean, when we look at what's outlined here in the articles, the statements they make, could you elaborate on what is trying to be portrayed here? Because I have my opinion, but we might as well just dig into yours before we get to mine.
Okay, geesh, I thought you would have stopped talking. I don't know how much more obvious can it be said. Xbox gamers don't buy games. They just sit there and wait for Game Pass to toss them a bone. The UK sales charts speak for themselves.
The UK sales chart. We're honestly using data from an economy that is 8 times smaller than the US to somehow gauge the US economy?
Sounds like sound math to me, and the High Council of Geniuses at Twitter agree with me. Just look at how gaming journalist Tay Kim agrees with me. 82% of Hogwarts Legacy sales were on PS5, and the remaining 18% were on Xbox Series S and X. I mean, right there, prominent gaming community member Tay Kim outlines it in just those simple words.
You are also aware that these are physical sales, and analysts are estimating that almost 90% of all games sold are digital now. Just look at some of the statements on that fact. We'll see right here, when you Google Google 90% of all games are digital, you get article after article, GameBite, BBC, Niche Gamer, IGN, ARS, Dual Shockers, even right here in plain, like you could read that. video game sales in the UK were 90% digital in 2022. IGN, digital sales accounted for an estimated 90% of games sold. Niche Gamer, over 94% of all video games sold in 2022 were reportedly digital. Again, BBC, almost 90% of all games in the UK in 22 were digital. This is just shocking that we're still somehow hung up on a physical game sales chart to somehow gauge how well a game is doing, and also somehow reflect it on an economy that is much larger than the UK. This is just illogical. Let's just get to the point. It's illogical. I mean, another example, the digital movement is even happening in the home movie market. The Target in my neighborhood turned their physical movie section into a bookstore, and the physical game selection seems to be slowly but surely being scaled back as well. We see this in numerous stores, at least here in the United States, with Walmart, Best Buy, Target. A lot of these companies have scaled back their physical media offerings very heavily, both on movies and games. And how does this make sound math to me, and even logical sense? Just look at this map showing the size of the UK to the United States. I mean, the UK is that orange blob. I think they're getting a couple states, one or two, maybe three, and that's being very giving. I mean, like, literally, that you cannot gauge the United States economy based on an object that small. I'm sorry. Fanboy, please, let's get more of your opinion onto this, on how, now how does that, the logical idea that this somehow shows any correlation to the U.S. economy, let alone any other world economy, when all logic goes out the window when you find out this data doesn't cover digital sales in any way?
Well, Sin, you see, for starters, digital sales are so passé and dated. The real focus is on physical media, and the fact stores are carrying less physical media shows they don't buy games either, and they are also part of the problem.
Oh my God. Okay, sure, you're right. In 2023, we're still getting up to go attend the midnight launch for games at GameStop, Walmart, Best Buy, and other major retailers.
Hey, don't ever make fun of the sacred night physical games are released on. The problem of Xbox gamers not buying games was honestly started by lazy retailers not buying games to sell at a midnight release. These lazy retailers have shown it's okay to not come in and buy games, and the Xbox community has bought into it hook, line, and sinker.
So what you're saying is that Xbox gamers have been brainwashed by lazy retailers to not buy physical games, and it has nothing to do with the convenience that buying digital creates for the consumer.
How in the F is it convenient? You have to call an ISP, establish service, hook up the equipment, establish a connection to the console, create an account, search the store, find your game, put in your card info. I'm getting confused just describing this whole situation. I hope you're seeing just how big a hassle it really is to buy a digital game, not to mention how lonely it is. I love the human interaction I get from buying a physical game. Those store employees find so much joy in being at their job at midnight just so I could get my game.
I feel like I'm arguing with a crazy person at this point. Have you lost your mind, fanboy? Do you even hear the words you are saying?
My editor asks me the same question all the time. If I could be honest, I live in my own little world. That's how being the gaming fanboy works.
I have no words at this point, to be quite honest. Let's just keep this going. If I could give my final thoughts and opinion to close this out, it's completely ridiculous and illogical to use the UK physical sales chart to gauge anything other than UK physical game sales. But with digital becoming the go-to means for most consumers, a bigger question can be concluded from this, and that question is, why is there such a gap between consumers buying digital on Xbox versus PlayStation? It seems very apparent that PlayStation consumers prefer to buy physical games more than Xbox consumers. Why is that? Look at how the gaming journalist from GameIndustry.biz, the one that wrote the first article we looked at, look at how he talks about how there was some interesting stats about how Xbox's strength in digital is on full display, with 41% of the Lego Star Wars digital sales coming on Xbox, where it was much lower for PlayStation. It was at like 34%. And it even talks about right here that the overall, including physical, with PlayStation considered, obviously PlayStation came in with 39% of all sales, but Xbox followed up with 34%. Now, we understand that PlayStation has the bigger install base, but I mean, the fact that Xbox gamers do not buy games goes out the window when you look at this game alone. But for some reason, this individual wants to discount the fact that Hogwarts Legacy got such a huge gap on the physical sales chart, when in April of last year he was talking about how Xbox does much better with digital sales. At this point, let's just stop using the sales chart to prove anything or to justify your console preference. Gaming is supposed to be fun and a positive social experience, not this horrible toxic pissing contest. Now let's cap this off. Thank you to the Gaming FanBoy for joining us. Where can people find you?
Well, Sent, I'm glad I was able to bless you with my presence. For those looking for me, you can find me playing the greatest game known to mankind, Twitter. See you around, kids.
Okay then, well, he is truly an off-the-rails individual, everyone. Be sure to follow him. He is definitely a bag of laughs, that is for sure. For me, you can always find content like this on this channel, so please like and subscribe if you enjoyed yourself. Till next time we meet again, stay positive out there, don't argue with idiots on the internet, and play what you enjoy where you want. Thanks for watching.